I'm not only gonna be a lolly, I'll be a girl. Alright? Oh my gosh, hi! Welcome to my debut! Oh my
Oh my god, this is a bad idea. Hello and welcome everybody to Squid Link. I will be hosting today's episode, and with me today is Drip, the Dreaming Devil. Say hello, Drip.
Hi, how's it going?
And my friend Owie.
Hello.
Oh, wait, what?
I almost
I
called
didn't
you
get
Peanut.
friends.
It either works for the time being. It's not fully established, but Owie's a preference.
Yeah, I stuttered a little bit because I was gonna say your old name. Or one of
Yeah.
your names, because you have
If
a
it
lot of
happens,
nicknames.
like you can flash it up, like oh, Peanut was his old name or whatever, or his nickname.
Yeah, so
Either works.
today we're basically just gonna cover VTubers and I guess what's going on in the VTuber community right now. Like I guess the most like recent big thing is which we all know of by now is Coco's graduation.
I
Yeah.
didn't know you were gonna bring this up.
Yeah,
Coco.
This is where Owie cries for the rest of the podcast.
Coco, she is graduating, and I don't know if you guys saw the video of her like explaining why, but she said something. It was translated, so I don't know like if
Mm.
this is like completely accurate or not. But she said that instead of breaking the rules, she'd rather just become an alumni. Like she'd rather just graduate than break the rules of Hollow Live, I guess.
I actually didn't see that. I was looking into a lot of like, I guess the emotional side of everything, like everyone's opinion and everyone's like thoughts and whatnot on the matter, as opposed to like why she was leaving. I wanted an answer because I obviously there are some things that happen, with a certain demographic, I guess, of people, right? Or like they kind of just harassed her and stuff. So I was hoping that they didn't like just beat her out of it. And I was kind of hoping that exactly what you said was going to happen because the only other news that I got was that she wanted to move on to like bigger and better things, or not bigger things, but just better things for herself.
Mm-hmm. And this is something I was kind of debating about talking about or not, but she does have another YouTube channel that is, pretty popular, I guess.
Mm.
I
I
don't
would
know.
say let people find that for themselves, right? Because I was reading some of the comments actually on that specific like channel, and a lot of people are trying to like expose it or like just come out with it. But someone said something to me like I guess it just I resonated with it where it's like her true fans or like her people will find her again is what the guy was saying. Like if she was really like the funny individual that she is or like the lovable dragon that we all know and adore, um
Mm-hmm.
that it's going to shine through, you know what I mean, that like her sense of humor, her types of videos and stuff like that. And they don't want people to be like, hey, this is her new channel or this is Coco version 2, because she probably wants to do other things, and her old fans or some of her old fans, I don't know if you've ever like been in one of her live streams where like they, if you read the chat or anything, a lot of them kind of demand, not a lot of them, right, but like a few of her fans kind of demand her older content and whatnot. And people were saying like let her do what she wants to do, and when people find her, then obviously we're going to welcome her back.
Mm. I think like because she's staying on like it's YouTube channel, right? Not like a Twitch channel.
Yeah, it's YouTube.
I feel like
Well,
like I remember as a kid, I used to love like this is a tangent, sorry. I used to love the animations, and there's one guy that I have not found since that I remember I used to be subscribed to on another account, but I can't find his videos any
Can you clarify what do you mean by animation?
like he used to be on Newgrounds,
Okay.
yeah, and now since he's no longer a part of that, I can't find him.
Hmm.
So I think like if there's like fans out there, they should kind of hear that or like if there's say like you told me like, hey, you like Coco? She's still got a YouTube channel.
Yeah, and okay, that's another thing too. Is like obviously like if, for instance, like people like Soap and I who know of the channel, know the name.
Hmm.
I anyways don't want to disclose that just because
Yeah,
again I feel
don't worry.
you know, um, but I feel like for instance if somebody was like, man, I'm so sad she's graduating. She was like my favorite. Yada yada yada. I'm really gonna miss her. Like it's sad that we're never gonna see her again, right?
Hmm.
Well, one, she's already said that she's not done. This is just her parting ways with Hollow Live, right? She may not be able to say like, "Hey, I was Coco," but again,
Hmm.
her voice, her sense of humor will shine through. But for instance, if like you, right, like you were a fan of her and you just were like, "Man, this sucks. It's done. Rest in peace. My hopes and dreams," right? Then
Hmm.
obviously I'm not gonna let you just kind of sit there in despair and be like, "Hey, check this channel out," But it's more so a direct
Yeah.
like from one person to another as opposed to me going on I
Reddit
don't
or
know
something.
social medias
Yeah.
and like on her fucking YouTube and just typing in like, hey, this is her new account, everyone go there. Like I feel like that's no, like that's
Yeah.
just the
Because sadly, I've been bombarded with those videos.
which
Like,
ones.
like this is her. Like,
Yeah.
say like with all the pretty much most of the members. There's this one channel that's doing it.
Yeah, there's quite a few out there now. Honestly, I
They
remember
slowly get
earlier.
banned and shit.
Yeah, they
Hope so.
slowly get removed, banned, and whatnot. And the YouTube algorithm is just weird. It's on itself because it will recommend you their old like accounts, which I'm
Oh
sure they
really?
had no idea existed
Yeah,
or they forgot existed.
like
I
I've
haven't had
come
that.
across a few videos where like it's like, oh, this is actually this person, and
Hmm.
then I'm like, well, I'd even go out of my way or anything to look it up. YouTube just threw it in my face and I recommended.
Yeah, I remember earlier on when I was um, I think this was the third generation of Hololive when actually yeah when Coco was still debuting and whatnot. Um, I fell into a pretty like steep rabbit hole, and you can ask Sub about it. Like I found out a lot about the members, and it wasn't some like malicious intent. It was more like I found one thing, one picture, and I was like, wait, what? And then from that one picture, I don't know, I fell down a rabbit hole and I found like videos of their older personas, their older channels or whatever, like
Hmm.
from all the different girls. And this was like early on, like I said, so third gen. So like when Coco was debuting, I mentioned that earlier. My bad. Um, and I was just sending a bunch of them to Soap. I was like, dude, what is going on? And then I started linking things together because I didn't know that some of the YouTubers that I watch prior to Hollow Live were already like an established channel. Um, and it just blew my mind when I didn't connect the dots because I had been listening to one in particular. I'd been listening to her voice for like the longest time, and then she hits Hollow Live, and I'm like, haha, wow, she's real funny, yada yada yada. And as I'm falling down this rabbit hole, I see the two personas, right? Like one YouTube channel and then the other Hollow Live YouTube channel, and I'm like, wait a minute, these are the same person. What the? I kind of lost my mind. I think I spam messaged Soap that day.
Yeah, I got a lot of messages. I found out a lot of information, but I think we kind of jumped the gun a little bit on just talking about VTubers in general. Maybe we should just just briefly touch up on what a VTuber is in the first place.
I
So
mean,
Actually, I want to hear this side of things from Drip, considering he is one.
yeah. I'd
So what is
say
a
Drip
VTuber to
Drip
you?
is a
mm,
VTuber. VTuber, it basically is just a virtual YouTuber, right? And
yeah, I would say like because I know that there's people who call themselves like V singer or V artist and stuff. Honestly, VTuber for me is like the umbrella definition of things. It's someone who is not necessarily playing a character, but having a persona of themselves within a virtual space. Like, say, your 3D, 2D, fucking PNG, you know?
PNG.
Yeah, I was gonna say 1D, but there's still
Yeah.
2D.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's still two-dimensional.
Even like, you don't have to have a voice. You are a personality with this, I guess, digital character. You know, you could
Hmm.
be, you don't have to be limited to being a YouTuber, I don't think. Or
yeah,
like, you know,
yeah, you could be like exclusively like just a streamer that uploads archives or whatever.
yeah. Like, I know I am jumping the gun again a bit. But there's a guy called like, I think his name's Full Size, and he just reports like VTuber news.
See, okay, that's another. I was gonna kind of jump on that tangent. There's just one particular I guess group, if you will, and obviously or not obviously, but they're called Clippers,
Hmm.
and I think it's like the funniest thing because some of the Clippers have a bunch of fans themselves, like specifically Soda Funk. She
Mhm.
dude, she and I love her videos because they're short to the point and that's it. It ends with this sick little song every time. I adore it. But I'm a huge fan of hers. But it's funny
Oh
because
yeah.
I'm a fan of hers because I'm a fan of the VTuber she's clipping. And it
Hmm.
just kind of I don't know, trickles down the ladder, I guess. And it's just funny to me that now you have VTuber clippers, that are just
Hmm.
famous for not taking content, right? But clipping from the streams and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that. At least it seems like a lot of the Hollow Live members they are okay with people clipping and taking their content and like uploading it to a separate YouTube channel because it seems like not everyone would be completely okay with that. But I guess as long as they're getting um attention and clout and stuff like that, because most of the clippers they clip and they translate from
Yeah.
Japanese, and that's like the big thing about them is because Hollow Live it's a Japanese company that supports VTubers and all that.
Hmm.
Supports and what's the word? Um
Not pays, not hires, but funds? Nah. Sponsors? No.
uh I guess yeah, something like that. Like they sponsor the VTuber, they promote them and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they
And
make
They're the
them as
producer.
talents, as opposed. Yeah, there we go. Like they're talents. They're not just this VTuber we're paying. Like no, like they're full on talents.
Hmm.
And I think it's pretty. Also, to touch on what you were saying about Clippers and whatnot, I think as someone that's pretty busy, like relatively all the time, I think it's a lot easier for me to consume clip videos as opposed to a full on 3 hour stream.
Hmm.
Occasionally I'll throw on one of their streams just to have it on. Um, but obviously, if it's a Japanese member, I'm not gonna understand them, and I'll be doing something else. So some of the translators in stream, like they'll be translating what they're saying or the general gist of what's going on as they're streaming. But again, I don't really have all that time, so it's a lot easier for me to consume the clipped videos and whatnot. And also, like you were saying, it gives them exposure. I mean,
I mean, that's how I found out about them. Was just a
Same.
random clip that was translated, and I just kept seeing more and more clips, and then I ended up going to their channel and subscribing, even though I have really no idea what they're saying.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, think about what like exposed you to VTubers in the first place, or Hololive, whatever it may be. It was probably a random clip, you know?
I was gonna say, like, I think the first wave of like the West coming to like VTubers was probably like Corone's clips. You know?
Yeah, I think Korone was like a very predominant one. I think Miko was also a very like
Hmm.
major one. But I think the one that bridge, I think the reason why Coco's like graduation, and sorry to pull it back to that, but like it hurts a lot is because she was the one who pressed for EN talent. She was the one who kind of like linked, she was the bridge between EN and JP, you know what I mean?
Because
It
she
was
speaks
like,
both fluently,
yeah, she
and
speaks both of them very fluently. It's not just like, oh yeah, I speak some English. No, like she full on speaks English, full on speaks Japanese, and she was that bridge that connected everyone. Not to mention her sense of humor was very, I guess, Americanized, or not Americanized because everyone loves memes, right?
Western.
Western, yeah, like it was
yeah, for
very
sure.
Western comedy. I loved watching her just tear Watame a new one, dude. That
The
do you remember
thing,
when Watame had like really bad lag?
oh yeah, this is when because they're part of the same generation, right? They're both fourth gen,
Yeah,
and yeah, I remember when it was like early on, like after they probably haven't been like debuted for like a month maybe or something. And Watame had bad internet. And Coco, she did this. She has the thing about her too is that her content was so unique. Like she was doing the reporting thing,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
She was like a news reporter.
and she was a news reporter reporting on Hololive things, and made fun of Watame because of her internet and all that kind of shit. And the thing that sucks though that I've been really thinking about is that Coco's not gonna be like the only one that's gonna like graduate. Eventually, like for whatever reason, they'll have their own reasons, but no, they're not gonna be around forever. And it sucks because we do get to see like the person that played Coco and like do other things on different platforms or whatever, but we still will never see like Kiryu Coco, like her playing this
Yeah,
specific character anymore.
our
Hmm.
Kaicho. No.
And it
Yeah.
sucks because like she is playing a character, and like you can argue like, oh, like she's just playing a character, so maybe they can just hire someone else to play that character. But then that's what they
But
did
it's
with
not the same.
fucking He's in the
Keys in
The
the
Eye
eye.
Joker. Oh.
Yeah, they
and
did
the
it with Keys
Joker,
in the eye.
I guess.
Uh, no, they did it. That's actually, I was gonna mention two things. The first being, I guess that reality hit me, right? That you're talking about, of like these guys or these girls won't be around all the time. When Korone had tweeted some things, she deleted the tweets right after. I'm sure you can find them online if you choose to, but she had said on stream that like something terrible had happened, and she was debating uh, graduating. Not even graduating. I think she said just giving it up, something along
Oh
the lines
yeah.
of that, where
Yeah.
she wasn't very positive about the situation. Um, and that's when the reality sunk in for me, especially for a big one like Korone. Korone is probably one of my favorites, and I adore her content. I adore who she is, like as a person. So if she needed to leave, obviously, like she's gonna have to step away. That's just what it is. She's a person before anything, right? These VTubers, these avatars, personas, whatever. Behind them is a person. So it's like obviously I have to respect their. We all have to respect their decision to leave, whether it's just out of the blue and decide not to say anything, or because they choose to go on to different things. But that's when it hit me that these girls aren't going to be around all the time. Um, it would devastate me to see quote unquote graduate, honestly. And I'm glad she didn't, but I hope that she's doing well. And the other thing I wanted to mention, um, shit, I lost my train of thought.
Was it still about
Give me a minute.
graduating? Was it about Coco?
No, I think it was about something Drip had mentioned.
Uh,
Well, okay, let's back it up a little bit because we did explain what
what?
a VTuber is. Then we went on a
This
huge
is the
ass
biggest
tangent.
tangent.
It's a roller coaster.
Should I explain it again, just in case? Like, to kind of
Yeah,
bring it
Sure,
back.
I get the point.
briefly, let's bring us back. Yeah,
Pretty much, uh, it's a character within a 2D or 3D space. Doesn't have to be entertaining, but just like is a persona themselves.
yeah,
That's pretty much simplest form of a VTuber.
persona or character, whatever.
Hmm.
And I like this idea of like playing because when you think of it as like a persona, it's a lot more personal. But I think playing a character can get very personal too because
Oh
it's kind of like what you said about the Joker. Like everyone, all these different actors, they all play this character, but they all play them differently because
yeah.
they themselves like like part of them bleeds into the character and like how they think the character would act and their mannerisms and all this other kind of stuff. So
Do you
That
think?
and
that's
then
why
other people get into. Oh, sorry.
that's why
Hmm.
I think because we've talked about VTubers a shit ton and honestly we kind of need a direction to talk about VTubers because we can just honestly just talk about them forever,
Yeah.
Right.
especially just with the amount that is out there. But no, fuck no, I'm losing my train of thought.
If it means
Basically, I was
anything,
gonna
I remember
say,
mine.
okay, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
So touching on that Joker thing that you were mentioning, right? Like each one of them kind of bleeds their own um
Like part of them
part of them
bleeds into
into
the
the
character.
character,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Um, when it happened to Kizuna, I was a huge fan of hers. Um, I had followed her from like I think one of her milestones. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but she released a video where she rapid fired answered questions, and I just watched her one of her videos and fell in love with like her personality because it was different. It wasn't this like innocent little anime character that you usually tend to see on YouTube at the time,
Hmm.
but rather someone who was like very loud, very like to the point, and also playing a character wholeheartedly. And I thought that was interesting because though she was herself, she played or she is still technically right, um, an intellectual AI, right?
Hmm.
Uh, she's a very very like powerful AI, quote unquote. And when she blew up, it got to the point where she had a gaming channel, she had a YouTube channel, and I can't remember what other channel she had like started. I think it was like music, right? Um, she broke off into three personalities, and initially, like, or the build up to it was interesting because she was releasing videos of like these three keys in the eyes talking to one another while one was downloading, and it was the weirdest, like, surreal experience. But when you watch it, she was essentially building up to the fact that there was going to be three actors, and that's where you lost me. And I'm sure a lot of us were like just kind of lost, confused,
Hmm.
because though she had said there's going to be three of me, she never officially announced a second voice actor. It wasn't until like I would watch her videos of her like playing a game, and she sounded different. She sounded off. She wasn't as funny or as entertaining to me, right? Um, Granted, the talent behind Keys and Eyes gaming channel, if she still does that, power to her, right? Like she's a part of a pretty big YouTube channel. Um, but it just wasn't the same. It felt almost like who is this person? You know, like yeah, this is the same model, but like who the hell is this? Like why are they here? Where's the original? And I remember at the time, like you would see in the comments, like where's the original? Like release her. You guys are holding her captive. But she was working on bigger things, and I think that's an interesting like thing or an interesting like topic in and of itself because she kind of did something similar to Coco without losing the character. Granted, Coco's tied to Hollow Live, so there's not much she can do with that. There's not creative freedom. There's no creative freedom in that. But with Keys in the Eye, when she split her personalities, quote unquote, she was able to take her music career a lot more seriously. Um, she did create an actual YouTube channel for her IRL self, and I don't believe she announced it on Keys and I, but it's out there if you again are interested. She talks a little bit more about the character and what it meant to her, and when it got too big for her to handle. Um, it was cool to me, but at the same time, it was kind of like heartbreaking that she decided to like part ways in a sense with the original Keys and I. She's slowly coming back to her roots. I've been seeing her pop up on my feed a little more and more, and like I'm happy for it. Um, but more so, she accomplished what she set out to do, right? Like a lot of VTubers don't have an intention, right? Like if you look at or not to say they don't have an intention, but some of the VTubers out there, right, or majority of them just kind of have this persona, this character, this um this avatar that they play, right? And they what's the word I'm looking for? That they perceive themselves to be, or like
Mm.
right that they're trying to not trying to be, but like just something
Depict
to have
themselves as that.
there. Right, exactly. That's thank you. Um, but Kizuna from the beginning, she was insane. And I remember like watching her with like a couple hundred K or like I want to say 80K is when I started like really following her. And she would always say it that she wants to do a collaboration with Miku, or that she wants to like do a collaboration with like a huge industry, and she wants to be as almost as big as Miku, like was her dream, right? Like her aspiration. She would say like I'm gonna become as big as Miku, and it was crazy to see the day that she not only like released songs, but had a full on concert. Um, got the collaboration with like what was it, a convenience store that she really like, that was it's actually pretty huge. I can't remember the exact name, but
Mm.
I know that convenience stores out in Japan are like major, like they're huge out there. So to get a collaboration with one and a big name one is like a huge honor, and she got it all. So it was kind of, I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, what do you do when you get to that point? And I feel like that's when she became kind of stagnant and chose to pursue music as the primary direction after that point.
You know, speaking about um splitting personalities and stuff like that, it kind of reminds me of that one anime that's still ongoing, I think, or might have finished recently. It's that one
Which one?
spider anime.
The
I,
spider
Yeah.
isekai?
yeah, the spider isekai one. So I'm a spider. So what is the English one name? But basically, she splits herself up. Basically, like her personality, like one personality manages like her physical abilities, and the other one manages like her magic, because she has like so many abilities. It's just hard for her to do everything at once.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, just it kind of reminded me of that, because I guess Keys in the Eye is like she's doing too much for just one person, I think. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
like another
actually,
reason why she had to like split up in these different like personalities.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It just sucks though, like at the same time, because we did
Because
lose her for a minute.
yeah, because you'll never get the same Keys in the Eye anymore that played games. Like now, it's just whoever took that role. And like going back to
Mm-hmm.
like the Joker thing, it's like being so used to like whatever, Mark Hamill's voice acting, and then it's like fucking Jared Leto out of nowhere, and you're like,
Yeah.
what the hell happening?
Yeah. It's like going from like an intricate game of 4D chess to
Finger painting.
I don't even know. Whatever the fuck Dread that fool's
I don't
Joker
even
was.
know. Like some scenes I thought it was okay, but the laugh I didn't like. Let's not get into it.
No.
Okay, yeah,
Let's not get
yeah,
into it.
yeah.
Okay, so
Someone
go ahead,
No, I
go
just want
Jeff.
to say, someone on stream said that I laugh like him.
No,
Like,
you don't.
like
You
I
don't.
felt personally attacked. I was like, ouch!
Did it
Like,
makes you feel any better? Somebody said that I reminded them of Zenitsu at work.
oh god,
I was like, yeah, those are fighting words, bro.
Dude, I can just imagine you laughing like Jared Leto now.
but dude, I remember looking up. I was like, yeah, I seem to remember him having like a unique laugh. I listened to it and went, ah, shit.
You guys want to listen to it?
No, no,
No,
don't even
I
put it
can
on the
imitate it.
podcast.
I can edit it in, or I can just bring Ruby in here.
Oh god, you're gonna get like the whole ass scene. It's a bad laugh. Like, I'll admit, I have a weird laugh, but I'm glad I have that like this laugh compared to that one.
Damn, that's funny. But so we've been talking a lot about Hollow Live and all that, and we can talk about specifically Hollow Live for like its own podcast.
Mhm.
But I did want to touch up on like the other smaller um VTuber groups, I guess. Like we can talk
Niji
about.
Sanji. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I was about to say like Niji Sanji. Let's
No,
go.
Niji Sanji's not huge.
I was,
They're
I
not
mean,
tiny.
I was gonna say like smaller than Hollow Live because Hollow Live is definitely like the most
Massive.
popular
A
one.
behemoth.
Yeah, and they basically like dwarf any other group. Honestly, like Niji Sanji, V Shoujo, all of them. But do you guys watch any like other smaller VTuber groups?
I mean, I think this is where
Not.
like my interests come in more. Like you guys, or at least Owie, you love Hololive, whereas
Oh,
like,
definitely. But I also watch a bunch of other, and this is what I was gonna say. Not groups, but I watch a bunch of like indie VTubers.
mm,
Yeah, me too. I watch a lot of like the smaller ones and a lot of like the OG ones that are bigger. Like I haven't watched her recently, but I used to really like
Hinata.
yeah, Nakomiya Hinata.
Yeah, my girl, dude, she's a gamer, bro.
She's a true lazy
She's
ass gamer.
insane. Yeah,
And
she's
she's
fucking
hella good
insane.
at shooters.
Yeah, dude. I forgot what game I was watching her play, and she was like, "Yeah, I just picked this up like 2 days ago. I'm not very good."
And
And then
she
she
has like
proceeded
fucking
to
20
like,
kills. It
yeah,
was
like I was like,
PUBG.
"What the fuck?" That shit was insane. Or like Kaguya Luna. Fuck, what was her intro? She would just fucking scream like, "Oh yeah!" Fucking all the. Oh shit, Luna was funny too. And that like Kaguya, not Luna from Hololive, because that one's also
Mm-hmm.
very funny.
I think
Like
like,
go on.
I was gonna say like, I feel like most of my like, I tend to branch out towards like just indies or like, I think the only group I really watch or kind of watch is V Shoujo.
Oh.
Bishoujo's pretty funny too.
Mm,
Okay, so since we're talking about VTubing, right? Like, is it cool if I bring up a topic after Drip's finished?
yeah, I'd say so. So,
Yeah.
Unless you had something specific to talk about.
I
uh,
mean, were you gonna say anything specific, Drip?
I was gonna say like, this kind of ties it back to the whole like Clippers, but like I only really watch Nichi Sanji. Like I think it's Kade, Kadae, him. and fuck, I forgot the other one. I watched two of them. Just like they'll pop up on my feed, and I'll be like, yeah, I'll watch it. If it doesn't have like translations, I'm completely lost. I like when they like have fun. I'm just confused, and they pop off completely in games. I feel like no offense to Hollow Life, but I feel like Niji Sanji like kind of play better. Like,
I think it depends on who you're watching,
oh yeah, yeah.
honestly. Because competitively,
Like, say for like most of them play like Apex or PUBG. They play those games extremely well, and then you watch like a Hollow Life member play a game, and
which one?
I feel like, I mean, I know most of Korone's clips are like the fucking hard as fuck games, at least the ones I've seen. But like, is it who's the small princess? Is that
Who's
Luna? Yeah.
Luna? The one who's always like, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Luna.
Watching her play like Mario Kart with Nichi Sanji, I was like, like, come on. I know Mario Kart's
Yeah,
not like
yeah,
competitive, but
but
like,
then if you watch my girl fucking Ayame, bro, she pops the fuck off. Ayame, Aqua, Robocall, dude, they're fucking insane, man.
I need to
They're
watch
actually
the
nuts.
gamers more, like whole life gamers.
Dude, yeah, I think Aqua is like a really really good one to watch because they used to call her Solo Live because she would play a bunch of fucking like solo games, and she was insanely like good at them. She even started to like speed run Dark Souls, and we all know how hard Dark Souls is. But she started like speed run like the first one, and she got like a relatively low time. Like, and I can't say that it was an average for speed running in general is just insane, right? But like she was getting above average like times, and the only reason why she stopped streaming these games is due to complications with like copyrights and whatnot,
Mm,
which made me insanely sad because I loved watching her play like Sekiro, Dark Souls 3, like all those insane like solo player games. Like I love playing them. I love the fuck out of those games. So watching like Aqua play them was just awesome because it's like you were saying, right? Like some of the Hololive members aren't that great at games, and that's just a
mm,
fact, right? But they're entertaining to watch nevertheless. But when you
mm.
have that, that same kind of energy but with someone who's good at these games, then it's like all of a sudden, like, oh, holy shit! Now you have my
Yeah.
full attention.
And
And Aqua actually is insane at games that she just plays. I don't know if I want to mention this, but she did used to play League back in the day. And like when I heard about this or whatever, or when I saw one clip, I was like, oh, she was probably like a mage player or like support. And granted, that's very like narrow-minded of me, but
Mm,
when I saw her playing like champions that just actually take balls to fucking play,
mm.
like watching her pop the fuck off on these champions was insane to me because I only got to view a few of her streams, and she used to stream with this specific VTuber back in the day. I cannot remember her name. So, do you remember her name?
um,
She had like two different colored eyes. She graduated like a while back.
I thought it was Kaguya May or something like that.
Well, she used to play League with whoever that was, and they were just pretty good. Like I believe she actually hit Diamond.
Mm,
Um, yeah. So it just goes to show like some of these Hololive girls are actual like full on gamers, right?
mm.
Like sweaties,
Oh
like
yeah.
they're fucking sweats, bro.
That's why I think, sorry, this is like the last bit I'll add, but like
Mm.
someone who just debuted is probably like the only person I really watch play League as a VTuber. That's C9 Vienna. And like
I haven't watched her if I'm being honest.
she's a
Like
good ADC.
oh cool, maybe I'll check her out.
Mm,
Just because like it was one of those things where it was like, oh, Netflix has a V tier. That's okay. So perfect. Like segue, right? Like you have all these like VTubers that are being created, and there's like a whole saturation of them. You have like Netflix, you have Cloud9, you have um
Samsung.
I think even like Samsung now jumped on their
Oh
virtual
yeah.
assistant, right, as opposed to a
Oh
VTuber,
wait, hold on,
right?
hold on. Before we continue, I just wanted to say that um for the Niji Sanji and Hollow Live like talent, I do think that Hollow Live has a lot of like they could be sweaty and they could be actually really good too, but I think when it
Mm,
comes to like actual game skill, Niji Sanji is definitely better.
mm.
Just
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
they have more members. They have 109 members. Niji Sanji.
Oh, true, true.
What?
Yeah,
I
they
did
have a
not
lot.
know that.
Yeah, they have a
Yeah,
shit ton compared to Hollow Live, and I think at least Niji Sanji, like the way that they choose who to like bring into their umbrella, I guess is I think they choose like skill a lot rather than like entertainment value.
how fast they can crank 90s
Oh.
in Fortnite.
Yeah, and I think they both
Anyways.
definitely have like a like game skill, and they both have like entertainment value. But I think that's kind of where Hollow Live looks. I think they look for like more people that are entertaining more rather than people that are like good at video games.
Mm,
Like
And
that's
like
a
if they happen to be
bonus.
good at games.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's more of a
exactly, right? Just
bonus.
it's like a bonus. Yeah.
oh, that
But
was Kanye.
yeah. But yeah, go ahead. You
I
were
think
talking
lately
about how like Netflix, Samsung, all these people have like these virtual
I'll pull
characters.
back into that. But lately, I think it's interesting that Hololive more focuses on like, um, not focuses, but like they pull
Prioritize.
attention to like a specific if there's a new generation, it's like okay, we want one person to do this, one person that like primarily does this or that, right? So like when they pull in a new generation, it's worth like all of that, right? Because you're saying like before it was like, or you're saying that Hololive has more entertainment value, right? But if you look at some of the newer generations, like or the newest, right, like the fifth generation, and the EN girls too, I think it was interesting that both of them. Wait, did one of them have an artist? No, okay, but you had like one who was about singing, right? You had rest in peace Aloe, but Aloe who was like major into singing, who was mostly like going to do the singing streams and whatnot. And you have Gura, right? Uh, you have the FPS player Botan, right? Like Botan is fucking insanely good at like Call of Duty and all those FPS games.
Mm.
And then
And then you
Amelia.
have Amelia, yeah,
Like they all have
and
their
she's
role, right? Like
yeah, and like I thought it was interesting that if you pay attention to like their newer, I don't want to say drafts, but like if you their newer talents, they have a set plan or like
They have
a
roles.
team to build, right? Like roles to fill, yeah. Um, but going back to that like subject of like all these virtual assistants, these virtual mascots, right? Um, I thought at the beginning when everyone was like trying to jump on this hype train, and I mean everyone, like you had people that didn't give a shit about anime but were trying to like do this because it was the thing to do.
Hmm.
Um, right, and that was early on. I thought it was interesting, right? Because you have people that like had well established names, well established channels that were trying to jump onto this hype train, and
Mm.
it aggravated me if I'm being honest, because it was like you guys, a lot of you guys are comfortable with like, showing yourselves. A lot of you guys are already yourselves. You guys have your face, like your brand is your face straight up. And when someone else did it, and specifically talking about Vishojo, Nyanners, uh Nyanners did not get on my nerves like um some of these other individuals that try to do YouTube or VTubing, because look at the difference between the ones that try to jump on the hype train and Nyanners herself. Nyanners never once or not never once, because she did have a few like IRL streams, but she was never comfortable with them from what I remember.
Mm.
And she always kind of played this persona or like this character, or maybe she is just a fucking degenerate, who knows. But the point that I'm trying to make is that like someone who didn't have a face but would always like YouTube, I noticed that like a lot of them are actually becoming VTubers. And I think it's cool in that manner, because you have a well established channel who doesn't show their face, or who's like they don't have like a character or anything, right? They just happen to talk on a microphone, and then they decided like, now I'm gonna do the VTubing thing. I thought that was a great way to like do it, because Nyanners became massive and she's funny as fuck to watch. Like I recommend, if you're into like degenerate type of humor, watching Nyanners, because she's the fucking
She's funny.
she's the funniest. Like I don't know. I think she's one of my more favorite like American, outside of Hololive,
Mm.
VTubers, because she's just fucking stupid. And I hate to say that, but like I mean it with full love, because her sense of humor is just absolutely insane. Um, but then you have like those people that try to VTubing and create like a 2D avatar and all the other shit that they don't even touch anymore, that you don't even see anymore. And it's like you were clearly trying to jump on a hype train where somebody else actually saw this as like a future, or a media that they wanted to expose themselves to, because now they could play someone, now they could be themselves while having a face, while having like um not a logo, a brand, like that's them now. And I think that's really cool that like some of these older generation like YouTubers like decided to take that jump, especially when everyone was giving everybody shit for trying to become a VTuber. Um, Specifically, like props to Nyanners, because she decided to do it and stick to it, right? Like, because I always knew, or I always liked her sense of humor. I always thought she was funny. I liked her channel, and she slowly started to like not make videos at a certain time,
Mm.
and then like I just kind of she disappeared from my like YouTube feed because of the algorithm. And then one day, like I see this pink-haired cat, and I'm like, "What is this?" And it was fucking Yanners, alive and well.
So we're talking a little bit about like the American Western, I guess, VTubers, and and you're talking about like the hype train and everything like that that came with VTubers like just blowing up, and then fucking people like Pokimane started uh
Yeah, I
coming out with
wasn't
like
trying to name names, but
VTuber.
yeah, everybody knows who I'm
I already
talking
knew.
about.
I already knew who you're trying
Yeah.
to name.
No, fuck that bitch. Uh, but yeah, like that definitely annoys me too, just because you're just hopping on a trend. But like, I get the appeal of it too. Like, even though some of these people are comfortable with their face and everything, I know they have off days too where they don't feel like putting on makeup or whatever the fuck. So
Mm.
it's just easier to just be a VTuber.
Those were excuses. I hated those excuses. Uh,
I mean,
okay.
it's. I think it's valid though. I mean,
Yeah.
And
I think.
that's the thing though. It's a valid like reason, right? But like it felt like an excuse to me when the way she worded it and the way she timed it. I think Lily Pichu's was like a good example of someone that decided to like try it and knew they weren't gonna stick with it, but wanted to do it. I think she literally was just like, yeah, they're cute. I want one. And I was like, okay, cool. She's not like, let me fucking go and become a VTuber because it's this. It was like, no, like she thought it was cute, wanted to do it, and decided to try it. And it's not like she's going to do it all the time. And I don't even know if she streams with it anymore. But that was one of the things that like there was a few other ones. I can't exactly remember who else did this kind of thing where they were like, oh man, that's cool. Let me just make one. Oh, Anthony. Anthony fucking terrible at pronouncing his last name.
What, Padilla? That
Yeah,
one?
Padilla. Yeah, Anthony Padilla. He made like but I like the way he did it too. Again, there are individuals with like big names and their face is their brand. Like I think Anthony's in that category, but the way he handled it was really well done because he was interviewing VTubers and then he was like, "Oh, well, I have a surprise guest for you." And all of a sudden it's like he has a VTuber model and it's like, "Whoa, how cool." And I thought that was interesting. I thought it was cool. It was a way to like connect with the the VTubers themselves and the audience that kind of he pulls, you know what I mean, to like
Hmm.
these videos. Like I only watched that video, if I'm being honest, because I'm a huge fan of VTubers and I wanted to hear what they had to say, like on the deeper like aspects of VTubing. And to see him kind of like goof around at the end, I thought that was cool. I feel like if he had did that like early on without any announcement or any reason for it, then it would have just been like, oh, he's just hopping on the hype train. But the way he went about it was really, really cool, actually.
Okay, well, I guess it's we're at like about 50 minutes, but we haven't really touched up on, I guess, Drip and his
Oh god.
community of like
Okay,
other VTubers, and I kind of wanted
quick.
to talk about. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, real quick. Water break. I need water.
All good.
So I will be right back. Literally 2 seconds.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought you meant my community as in like my chat. I was gonna like, dude, they're toxic as shit. They make fun of me.
Let me just make sure everything's all good. Oh, it hasn't popped up yet.
A lot of tangents in this one, but that's
Dude,
just what we get for. It's just
picking VTubers.
VTubers is like such a broad topic, you know.
I like. I'm not gonna lie. That like when you're like, oh, like they probably don't feel like putting on makeup and stuff. I'm not gonna lie. My brain immediately went for the tangent of like, have you seen like Nico lol without makeup?
I have it. Is she?
She's still so cute. Like she looks better. Like there was a period of time where I didn't like how she did her makeup. I know that's like personal taste, but like she just looks really nice without makeup. I was like, wow, like damn, like good for her. She's
Wait, who
feeling
does?
confident. Nico lol.
Nico Love.
You know the okay boomer girl.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh
I
yeah,
I
she's
never liked the makeup of like the super rosy cheeks, red cheeks.
she like
I'm a sucker
amplified
for
that.
it. It can't be too heavy, so yeah, like
Yeah,
when she was doing it like heavy, I wasn't really all that into it.
yeah, neither.
But I yeah, when she does it lightly or when they do it lightly, I'm a sucker for it.
Subtle, subtle stuff. What? This isn't VTuber stuff, but you know, I think guys
Mhm.
now appreciate like barely any makeup. I feel like.
Anyways, back to your community.
All right.
Okay,
I have my
so
water.
I wanted to talk a little bit about Drip's like VTuber community in general too, because they're like very up and coming. They're indie, right? You would say.
We're
And
the hipsters.
the thing is though too is that not all of the VTubers like I guess under this category are like this, but I've noticed some people they really are just about the hype train, like what we were talking about before. Like they make and create like certain VTuber, like they come up with this character, but then they don't have they they have never streamed before. Like they're just barely getting into it. They're like not prepared. But then on Twitter, they still have this brand new Twitter account that like is their VTuber, whatever. Um,
Hub.
yeah, and they still follow and like interact with all the other VTubers, and they stay in their chats when they stream. But then they don't stream and like go through the full thing themselves. Like they're just kind of part of the community, but they're not putting in the work to be an actual like VTuber.
Mm.
And I think that goes back to what you were saying, like what a VTuber is. I feel like also like a VTuber is just a content creator that has like a 3D or 2D avatar, right?
Hmm.
So it's like a lot of these VTubers, right? The ones you're saying that are stuck on Twitter, that it's like I don't I can't consider them VTubers. Like, yeah, they may be a part of the community or they like the community, right? But it just feels like a I don't know, like a Twitter account with an avatar.
Yeah.
You know, you
Yeah,
don't
then they
stream,
end up
you don't
just
make
being like
anything.
a fan, but the
Mhm.
fans suddenly have a VTuber avatar too.
Yeah, and it's it, it's just interesting to say the least that like people consider themselves VTubers when they're this, type of like individual. And I don't know, I guess like I brought up Soda Funk earlier. So I'm gonna pull her back into it. It's like she doesn't like call herself a VTuber, but she has like this specific like uh character with just ears that like appears in like most of her
Hmm.
thumbnails or her videos or at the end of it or whatever. And that's it. Like she doesn't consider herself a VTuber, or at least from what I know.
Hmm.
And she just makes these clips. And I think that's fine. You know, she's producing content. Like if she were to call herself a VTuber, I don't know how I would feel about that, right? But like these individuals that they call themselves, like again, like oh these Twitter VTubers, these Twitter personas, as I call them, it's like why do you want to be a part of this without actually streaming?
I think like to play a bit of devil's advocate here. I know a lot of people like you, Owie, don't have the either the money or the time or uh like I guess the technology, like
Mm.
the equipment, I should say, to go through with it just yet.
Yeah, right.
And I was definitely like I'm only just now like starting to get the I guess get the ball going off the other side of the hill. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Um.
I think that's completely fine, and
Mm,
there are people like that like they're not doing anything now, or like they're not prepared, don't have the equipment or whatever, they don't have the time because they're working or school.
mm.
Like I think that those people, it's completely fine. But like, let's be real, there's people out there that are gonna stay like that
Oh yeah,
forever,
yeah.
and then they
Dude,
might
I,
not
I
even use that Twitter account anymore eventually.
Hmm.
yeah, exactly. Like I think I've seen one that was like debuting or whatever, or still pre-debut, that's been that way for like a year or whatever, or 2 years, some odd numbers, right? And
Hmm.
in my case, right, like I think I think it's cool to build it up, right? I think it's cool to like if you're going to do it soon, then it's fine to like build it up and like build some like, you know, momentum and then stream, right? Because then
Hmm.
it's like cool, you have your own little debut. And that's cool, that's fine. But like it's like we were saying, now they're producing content. They had an intention to do so from the beginning. Um so it's like there's a difference between somebody who's going to do it and doing it and someone
Mm.
who's just like jumping on that like hype train or wants to just have a avatar or whatever. But it's like at that point, don't call yourself a VTuber. Just I don't know,
Yeah.
keep
I
it as
know.
a Twitter persona.
I think it's
Like.
because we. I think the reason why we think it's like I don't know if it's a bad thing, but what they're doing is basically they're unintentionally like putting more saturation like under like the VTuber
Yeah.
like name.
Yeah, yeah.
And and I think because because when I first got introduced to a VTuber, it was like someone that was backed by a company like Hollow Live, and they had to
They
like
were
put
going
in
and doing
work. They
something.
had to do an interview, And then when I just see people just being lazy and like nonchalant about it, it just oversaturates the VTuber name, I
Gee,
guess.
yeah,
Hmm.
definitely.
And like to I guess to add a bit of spicy drama here. I won't
Oh,
name names, but there's a few people that I know or like who have talked to me who like they definitely gave the impression of like they just jumped on this because it was trending, you know?
yeah. They
You'll
don't
meet those like
like
cardboard cutouts is what I call them.
Yeah, like this is something that I hope a lot of VTubers try to do, and I think we kind of touched it with like Coco when she came out. It's like I think a VTuber should like if they want to be a VTuber, they shouldn't just be the same, thing. Like let's face it, with how many people are being VTubers now, there's typically a similarity with their looks, you know?
mm,
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant by like cardboard cutout. It
Mm,
happens as like in art, like you have this kind of like same face syndrome, right? When
yeah.
you draw enough, right? When you have enough saturation of one specific thing, it's like, oh, all of a sudden they all kind of blend the same, right? So you
Mm,
need something to like pull you out of that crowd, right?
yeah.
And I think that's what Soap was like trying to bring up is that like oversaturation of like these quote unquote VTubers, these Twitter personas that like they have that they call themselves VTubers, then it only adds even more saturation to like the already like actual streaming VTubers. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um, I think there's a lot of individuals that just kind of like go with a very simple design, put it out there and start doing it, and that's fine and dandy, if you will.
Mm,
But I think that becomes very like bland and it becomes very like cardboard cutout kind of thing where it's like you just the main character of an anime, shaggy long black hair who's
yeah.
a loner. I'm sure you're thinking of several different characters the moment I said that, and it
Mhm.
becomes very similar to like that when it comes to VTubers. That's why like if you're gonna do it, I think like really come up with it something interesting, something different.
Yeah. Like is it alright to I guess like drop some entertainment kind of like my own specifics?
Yeah, go for it.
For me, I teased a bit with you guys like like showing you guys what I was trying to do. I want mine to be a bit more cuz I'm not going to lie, I feel like I'm a bit of a dull personality at times, especially after listening to myself on the podcast the first time. But like
All right.
mhm.
I want to be able to say like for me I can control like you know if something sad happens I can pop up my sad scene where I'm crying, you know guts theme is going, you
Dude,
know
that shit gives me PTSD. I'm not gonna lie to you. Every time I hear it, my heart sinks and I feel like genuinely crying.
I'm
Go
sorry,
on.
but like I also want to be able to let chat like actually physically interact with the stream rather like I'm sure anyone on Twitch should know what channel points are, whether you're a viewer or an actual streamer, whatever. You should know that like that is the most interaction that chat gets that Twitch provides. But thankfully, there's people who have made like third-party software where a channel point like Redeem can trigger a response in your streaming software. And I like the idea of that. I like the chat being able to trigger something, even if it's something tiny. Like I don't know, I have like hearts coming off of me or something,
Mm,
or they can like change the song if they wanted when hopefully all the DMCA stuff is fixed.
mhm.
that to me, I think is something that, no offense to others, feels lacking in. Is where
Hmm.
like, because I'm a monkey brain, right? I'll only really watch a stream if I'm doing something else,
Hmm.
and even then, it has to inherently be interactive, or like there's a bit more of a, what's the word, like you feel a bit more part of it, you know? I think like a lot of streamers
With the
nowadays,
interaction, right? Like you're
yeah,
saying, like you feel more intuitive with something that you can actually interact with
yeah,
and be a part of. Okay.
like even if I'm not in chat, like texting, like talking to the streamer, and I think this is a weird tangent here. Linus brought this up. Linus Tech Tips.
Okay. Shouting out Linus.
Yeah, my boy Linus.
All right.
He went into XQC's chat a while ago,
Mm-hmm.
typed something, even like he's a verified user, like so he kind of stands out a bit in a chat. His thing just gone. Like it's in the wall of text, like it's vanished.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like with something like that, you kind of need a bit more of interaction because you can't really talk to chat or let them feel involved if they aren't really talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for me, I want to add ways for chat to just be like, hey, like for me, I wanted to do like our original idea was teaching you guys like some Welsh swears. That to
But
me would have been fun because I'm not gonna lie to you, Welsh swears are weird.
I think at this point we're kind of going off on an entirely different
Yeah,
like
tangent here.
topic. Yeah.
Hmm. But
It's more so about the streaming.
yeah, but I'm just saying like indie VTubers, I think need to really stand out. You know what I mean? With their own personality, with their own like addition to this community.
Yeah, or like something unique, something different. Like
Yeah.
I think an earlier one, who was what was her name? Miko? No. So, do you remember that VTuber um where like chat could like interact with her like
Oh, Code Miko.
background?
Code Miko.
Code Miko.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
super good.
that was insane. Like she took a huge dive
Mm.
into virtual streaming, and I thought it was absolutely like admirable because she not only did something like insane in the sense of like spending money, but like
Oh
it
yeah.
was also very unique with like the like you were saying chat interactions, right? They could mess
Yeah.
with her avatar, they can make her like explode or in her
Yeah.
background, like
Tiny
it
head.
was
Like
yeah, tiny head.
I like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say? So
I was gonna say, the whole reason why I even bring up, like, going back to like the people that don't do anything but then still call themselves VTubers is because I just don't want to see people that are actually like doing work and stuff like be categorized in like the same thing as them. Like you, Drip, like you put in a lot of work, you stream a lot, you edit and all this other shit, even though you have work and other things, other responsibilities. But then when these other people oversaturate like the VTuber market, it takes away from you. And like what you were saying earlier, and like giving tips of like people wanting to stand out more, I would like to see more of that. And like people, I know you can't just like, it's not just gonna come
come
out
out.
of
Yeah.
nowhere, but
Yeah.
I would still like to see people just put in work and do something different, because we have there's too many of like the like the cutesy
Yeah.
kind of like VTuber.
Teehee.
Why I
And
love Mama Moth.
Dude.
Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I know who you're on
mm,
about. Yeah. The
Juniper?
giant
Yeah.
I I don't go out
Go
and watch
on.
the
What's
stuff,
up?
but
Sorry, I cut you off. So
mm,
you were saying like the whole cutesy.
Yeah, just the whole cutesy, like I feel like everyone is like they're all playing the same card, you know?
yeah.
They're playing the same and they're pulling all the same hands.
Hmm.
Like Code Miko, like you said, is a lot different and but
The
I
personality
just wanted to
helps.
say just that's the only reason why I bring that
Yeah.
like up those people that don't do shit
I think
because it
I
takes
will.
away from like your community of
Yeah.
VTubers, you know.
I think like I will like because I understand it's still like a uh I guess maturing scene. Like we're still like you know we're all very new to this. We don't know really to tread. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I think that's where like people like Code Miko, the Shoujo people, even looking to the Eastern like demographic, like Nichi Sanji, Whole Life, like those guys, seeing what they're doing, since they have, they can take big risks. I feel like, or they can take not like big risks, like it's going to destroy their careers, but like they can try stuff out.
Hmm.
Like,
What do you mean?
like, let's say for example, like, okay, something that I see constantly that I wish would change is like debut announcements, like not like them and like how like you know that they tweet it and that's it. The actual video itself, the MP4 of their announcement needs to change a bit more or have a bit more personality behind it. I feel like.
What do you? Okay, hold on.
Okay. Um.
Okay, so when they're debuting, right? Like the
Yeah.
whole initial like, hey, this is me, blah 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 blah. What do
Not
you mean that needs to change?
not the
Like,
actual debut. The actual debut, I think, is you know you can really get to know them.
mhm.
It is a bit formulaic, but I think it kind of has to be that to get to know them. Like what's their name, what's their sizes, whatever. It's the actual when they post that video on Twitter, like, "Hey, I'm debuting this day, this time." That video, like those videos, even though they may have a bit of their personality in it, it's all the same. It feels like it's the same kind of music, the same kind of text effect, the same
So you mean
shapes.
it follows like almost like a formula that you want to
It's
see
the same
changed?
aesthetic constantly.
It's the same formula, not
Yeah.
so much the aesthetic. Like you mean like it follows like a similar. It always has the music. Like it always has the.
No, let me find one.
Because okay, because
We won't
I was
out
gonna
that one
say like
stream, but like, hold I feel bad that I'm gonna have to use this person's because they're
just
really
DM it
sweet.
or
Yeah, yeah.
or in
I will if it's still up. She posts a lot. Um,
just in a voice chat actually.
yeah, but like you'll understand what I mean. I feel like instantly because everyone kind of does this, and that's kind of like
Or do you mean like they like follow like a formula in the sense of like literally the same song, literally the
no,
same.
not like you'll understand what I mean. Like it's the same aesthetic of editing at
Oh, you
least.
mean the pre-debut video, like
Yeah,
where
yeah. Like I mean,
the
like the announcement. Like they are announcing that they are debuting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not talking about their actual debut. Okay,
No,
you're
no,
talking
no.
about like their pre-debut announcement.
Yeah. Like I understand that a lot of people who use After Effects and stuff are kind of pushed into these kind of aesthetics, but I think that's something that like for me, I'm just doing my own thing. I'm editing my own work. It's not going to look as nice and polished as theirs, but I don't like the idea of it being the same. I want people's personality to stand out, even if it's not like, flashy text, all this kind of cutesy music. Just I like having their personality in not everything, but like when they're actually announcing things, I like people's personality in it. I know it's kind of
And
hard when you
how
hire
would
someone.
you do that?
Well, like for me, having, I guess, I don't know how you describe, like the scribbly kind of effect,
Because the
a bit more of a, I guess, it's not edgy. Like, how would you describe the song? So,
I know what you're talking about, Drip. Like,
yeah,
you just want people. You want it to be more like personalized rather than just like playing
cut
this,
and paste.
yeah,
Yeah.
copy paste, this kind of thing. But I think when it comes to pre debut announcements, I think they're sort of like that because it's literally just there to tell you that, like, oh, I'm gonna debut, and then when you go to the debut, that's where they really show off their personality. That's where you
Mm,
first find out how they sound like, and
yeah.
like all that kind of stuff. I think that's why. I think it's just like a little. But I know what you mean. Like, you want it to be like a little
Mm,
teaser, like trailer,
yeah.
to be what you're gonna
Like,
do. But
yeah.
like, I guess it just really comes down to just how to what you want to do and just how you see it. Like, do you want to save everything about you for the debut, or do you want to
Mm,
give a little teaser and then expand on it?
yeah. And I understand that, like, it's probably like this because, I mean, let's face it, it's a very nice aesthetic to one watch, even if it's just a short little announcement, just seeing like all these things like go on place. And two, the music's nice. Like I don't really think people have much bad to say about like future funk and stuff, you know?
Mhm.
I hate it.
Okay. I'm telling Chef.
I totally didn't listen to Future Funk 24/7 to really sink my teeth into that design. I love Future Funk.
But we've been recording for a little over an hour now. Is there anything specific you guys still wanted to talk about VTubers, the
Yeah,
community?
actually.
Okay.
So,
Uh,
we talked about, VTuber history and what's going on and blah blah blah. All right, enough of that. Enough of the politics. What makes or breaks a VTuber for you? Like in your initial okay, you're watching let's say you're going to get into one, right? You're like, "Oh, they look cool. They look great. I like their little intro. Let's see
mm,
what they're about." What breaks it for you where you're just like, "Nah, this isn't for me."
mm.
Mm, is there anything that breaks it for you? Well, I think.
Okay. So, specific for me specifically, like if I it sounds kind of brutal, right? If I can't get behind what you sound like,
Yeah, I was
it's
just thinking that.
I just whether it's okay, and this is a few things, right? Because for English VTubers, like I've been trying to get into them a little more because I feel like I don't know, I'm too much of a weeb. Like maybe I need to tone it down. I don't know. Uh,
Sub only,
so
man.
I'll some only no nubs. But I was trying to get into one, and I was watching her, and I was like, wow, her sense of humor, she's funny. I like her avatar or whatever. But like, just how dull her voice was, I was like, I can't do this. I just stopped watching, and that was like the last I ever fucking saw of that VTuber. Or in another case, like this one guy, his VTuber model was like, it just wasn't. It was just like long, shaggy black hair, main character protagonist of whatever generic isekai came out last season. It literally was just like a cardboard cutout of that, and it was just. I was like, man, this sucks. So yeah, like for me, like I don't know, either the voice or the unoriginality, the wet cardboard on the floor.
Mm.
I think
You got one?
I agree for sure for the voice. Like sometimes they have a voice I'm not really a big fan of right away, but then it grows on me later.
Yeah.
Okay, so what keeps you around then? Like in that sense, like where you're like, I don't like the voice, but what keeps you around?
I guess I guess an example I can use is like is Botan. Like I really didn't like I heard design was probably my favorite after out of the fifth generation that debuted. So she like caught my eye already. But when I heard her speak, I was expecting more of like a One-chan kind of voice, I guess.
Really?
And then when she
Wait, that's
sounded
what you're
Yeah.
like
expecting?
that's what I was expecting because she's like this fucking alpha lion,
Yeah, I remember Soap and I talking about like the hype behind it. We were like, oh, I wonder what kind of voice, like yada yada yada.
And then
Um,
yeah, I wasn't really a big fan of it right away, but then I guess I kept coming back for the character design and for the game she was playing because out of all the Hollow Life girls, she was like the only one that ever played Warzone. So and that's a game I play a lot, so that it kept bringing me back to that. And then just the more I saw her and the more clips I saw from the clippers and translators, which are very which I hope are not underappreciated. All the people that take the
honestly,
time to do that shit.
my heart's out to them, man. They're the reason why we can enjoy these lovely individuals.
Hmm.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, just her I guess her design, the clips I would see and the game she played is what made me come back and then her voice just grew on me after.
Yeah, she has an adorable laugh, very contagious. Okay.
But yeah, I
I
can't really
think
think of anything else
mm,
that'll break it for me. Probably voice, and if they're like for real just a bitch. I just find out they're a straight up bitch.
I feel it. I feel it. All right
But yeah,
then.
my bad, Joe. What were you saying?
I
Yeah.
think it has to like, at least for me, I guess it's like how I pick out my favorite anime characters, you know?
Aesthetic design first, right?
Like, yeah, like a mix of the design and like their voice. Like, I think Soap kind of understands like who I like in anime, kind of as soon as they appear on screen.
Yeah, yeah.
But like I'm not a fan of like over the top personalities. Like the reason I can't really say much for Coco is that I didn't click too much with her. I respect what she did and all that, but I just I wouldn't go on my way to watch her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I get you. I get what you mean. Not for everybody, the
Hmm.
personalities like that.
Dear. No, I'm just kidding.
But like oddly at the same time, like this is where the voice really comes into play, and I've talked to Soap about this constantly about like fuck man, like this voice, Vei's voice, I love it.
hmm
Wait, Bebe?
Yeah, from V Sojo.
Oh yeah 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 yeah
She
yeah yeah
has
yeah.
like
The lich, right?
No,
No.
she has
the
gray hair. Her avatar kind of looks like Sen's avatar.
Oh
yeah,
yeah 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 yeah. I know. Okay okay. I know who you're talking about. Isn't she
hmm.
kind of new?
Well, she's new to V Shoujo, but she's been around
Yeah.
for ages.
Oh really?
Yeah, well, I don't know about ages, but she's been around for like
I
the
want to
same
say
amount of
like
time as like
2 years,
Silver and stuff. Yeah.
maybe 2 years, year and a
Really?
half.
Mm.
Hmm.
But yeah,
I think I've been watching it for like 2 years or so. Like probably not like as soon as she debuted, but like again, I saw clips of her pop up. She's a degenerate just like Nyan is. And I like their dynamic. But just like her voice like seals it for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Guess
So then you're attracted to the voices then.
the
Yeah,
you
that
voice
was
know,
gonna.
yeah.
this is part of the reason. I think I could not be a VTuber. It's because
Why?
it's crossed my mind before to try it out and everything, but I don't really have an appealing voice, you know. Like
I
I don't have a comfy voice. I don't have like a very dark chocolate voice.
What's a dark chocolate voice?
dark chocolate,
You know, like
very smooth.
very
Uh,
smooth and like
uh,
deep and
Chanel Trez. Okay.
Yeah. Um. I okay. I beg to differ on that because I think like there's something unique about your voice where okay, personally I like enjoy it, right? I think it's very easy to listen to. I think one and this is like a weird thing to say, but in a crowd of people, your voice kind of like
Stands out.
cuts through
Yeah.
and it stands out. And not in a bad way where like cuz some people's voices like pierces through the everyone else's and it's kind of like, "Oh my god."
yeah.
You know? But no, your voice like has a very like stand kind of like
Strong.
it's very strong. Yeah. Um so I feel like you could do it and you could do it well more so with the avatar that you currently like have as your profile picture. I think that like that just fits it perfectly. Like I think if you found a way to just be like a floating like soap bar like that would be sick. On a side note, I'd be willing to work with you on that. Like if you're down to, I can actually find a way to like make you something that would fit with your voice and like be very unique and very appealing at the same time.
I think something you like, because like you, I didn't really think my voice was good for any of this. Like, but again, bring it back to it. Like, think of it like an anime. You know, there's always a is that a trope? Is that what you call it? Like, there's always some kind of character that will fit that kind of voice, that personality in some way. Even if you have to play a character to fit your voice, which I don't really think you need to. Like, there will be a demographic there for you. Like, fuck, I forgot his name. There's an indie VTuber who's like, I think he's like some mobster, but like he has like a just a deep kind of gross-ish voice. That's like, I don't know if it's part of his character that he's playing or what, but like there's a demographic there.
I see
People will love
what
him.
you mean.
Yeah.
I'm a kick.
Or like say like, so for example, like the whole life members, like for or like the first gen English ones, they all have very different voices and personalities.
Ina, so
Yeah.
comfy.
Ina's like super comfy, and then you go to like, I don't know, like Callie or Gura, and they're a bit more hyper, a bit more like boisterous, you know?
I
Mm-hmm.
think that's more so Kiara. Kiara is definitely the very like
Oh yeah, I
Oh
forgot
yeah.
about Kiara.
hyper and like uppity one. Gura's a goofball. I think she's more of like a like
A little sister.
someone who just consistently like changes their voice throughout the stream.
Mm.
And then like you have Callie, who's very like yo yo. And then Ame is very like surprisingly soft spoken.
But an
I don't
idiot.
know. She's like a gremlin. She's got the gremlin noises and everything.
I think if you truly want to try be a VTuber, no matter who you are, like you can do it. It's again like put yourself into it, you know? Make just like not make yourself the VTuber, but like do what you like with it.
Come anime waifu.
Yeah. Yeah, become anime waifu, husbando,
Yeah, boy.
uh I don't know. There's even an ugly bastard uh
Oh god.
VTuber.
Oh my god, I saw that recently.
Yeah. And
Oh
like
god.
Yeah, like there's literally a demographic for everything. You literally being a VTuber is like being in a high school anime. Like
Uh,
that's how I picture it. Like you could like there's so many different kinds of people, so there's gonna be different cliques and like groups that are gonna come together, you know?
mhm.
Or
On
even
a
if
more lighthearted note,
mm,
wait, I don't know if you were done. Sorry.
no, I was.
All right, on a more lighthearted note, what's some of your favorite like clips? Like, what's one clip that you just go back to? Or let me. There's a bunch, right? But let me say, like, I don't know, like within this month, like, what's your favorite clip to go to?
This month? Oh god.
Honestly, as of late, I haven't really been watching as much. I guess VTubers as
Mm,
as I normally would, just because I've been doing a lot of projects and stuff,
Mm.
and it's just been taking up my time more. And then yeah, but there was a point where because I think I've been into like the VTuber scene and everything for like maybe a year and a half to 2 years now.
Mm.
mm.
Like when I first started sharing like Aqua clips and stuff like that. And
Our little onion.
yeah, there was a point where I wouldn't even watch anime. I would just be watching fucking VTubers like nonstop.
Because
So
it's like an anime that doesn't end.
yeah,
Go on.
and but if I had to choose like a clip or something, it'd probably be like Nene's clips of her
Matane.
of her telling everyone that they're all of her husbands and stuff.
Have you seen that recently? Like everyone's been trying to divorce her.
Yeah. I've seen all those clips. It's like most
It's
VTubers,
funny.
they're like, "Marry me," and then like they'll say like nicely, like Fubuki, like, "No, be
My
friends,
friend.
friends." But then she's like, "Yeah, your husband and your husband and your husband."
Everybody's a husband. That should be dying.
I
I
think
think
that mm,
Pekora's like was really funny and like unique. Where somebody asked her to like marry, right? Like, oh, marry me or I'll wait for you type of thing. And she's like, but then you'd be taking the or not the number one idol, but like you'd be taking the idol away from everybody, so you can't. I belong to everybody as an idol, and I was just like, way to play into the character. Holy shit.
How about you,
I
Drip?
think
Anything come to mind?
like the one clip that it was really interesting and it made me a bit jealous that I can't do this. Uh,
Oh, envy.
do you guys know Estelle from Holostar?
Oh, the boy wonder with like blue and like
Yeah,
gold color scheme. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
he's cool. I like.
his Lolly voice.
Oh, I know what you're
Dude,
talking about already.
that like but not even that, like how he can quickly go from like his Lolly voice and he just suddenly pops in with like a deeper voice than he normally has. I'm like, oh my god, like I wish I could do that. I wish like even if it was just for like singing or just putting on a voice, I wish. It
I
was
kind
so
of
impressive.
wish I could do that too, but I
Uh,
cannot.
It hurts. I used to be able to do like I used to pretend to be a squeaker when I played CS:GO, but it's been like years and I'm shit at it.
All right, guys, this is what we're gonna end the podcast on. We're all gonna go and do our lolly voices. All right.
Oh god.
oh dear God.
Oh no.
pretend that we're pretend that
All right,
we're debuting as a lolly VTuber.
Oh god.
hit it, drip.
It's on the spot. All right, hold on. I need to think of what should we say?
I don't know. Just
You're debuting, you know.
All right.
yeah, drip. You're debuting
Oh,
as
so
the lolly demon. Wait,
Lolly
I'm
Demon.
actually probably gonna draw you in that manner.
Oh no.
Oh,
I'm gonna
good.
get banned. uh,
No, it's gonna be good. Trust.
Fuck
Alright,
you
hit
know
it.
what? I'm not only gonna be a lolly, I'll be a girl. Alright? Oh my gosh, hi! Welcome to my debut! Oh my gosh!
Oh my god, this is a bad idea.
You're being so
Alright, so
awkward!
oh no.
Oh my god, I shouldn't have
I
said
don't know if I
this.
like this. Can we
Come on. Come on, guys, do it.
Alright, go so your turn.
Wait, it's my turn. I thought we were going from the top down. I think it's your turn.
No,
Okay, now I'll
on
go.
my screen, I'm at the bottom.
I'm gonna be like a little lolly, like soap bar that's like fucking hella tiny. It's like a little keychain meant for dogs or some shit.
I think it's fucking plot twist so can actually do it. That shit would be funny as fuck.
Like one of those like keychain soaps that you have, like quick
Yeah,
like
it's all
sanitizer.
mini. Just imagine me like that, okay? Hi guys, I'm Soap. I'm a lolly keychain soap bar. And I'll always be with you everywhere you
Oh
go.
my
Oh my
god.
god, you're fucking so okay.
That's so
Well,
funny.
I'm a keychain.
Yeah, but don't
Oh,
say it like
yeah,
that.
yeah, he's the keychain, so he's always with us.
Don't say it like
I mean,
that though.
she's always with us, dude.
I'm a butt plug keychain.
Okay, no, you can't say that when we're lollies. No.
Oh shit.
Oh shit, dude.
Alright. Ending it with
Alright, guys.
Owie.
Good. I don't know what I would say.
God, I cringe at myself.
Why are we? Why would we
Welcome,
actually?
welcome to my
I don't
kind of
know,
con.
but we did it already. Now you have to do it. Just don't back it out.
Alright. Fuck. What would I even say?
You're debuting, so
Can I say that in Japanese?
Oh god.
No, I'm not gonna go
Ohio
fuck.
Mina.
Oh, fuck, I
What
lost
the
it.
fuck?
I was gonna do it, but
No,
I
no, 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 no,
lost it.
no. Go back to it. Go back to it. Go on.
This is why I was like, no, dude, no.
Okay, got it. Owie. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
God, this is
We've already embarrassed ourselves. You gotta do
yeah.
it next.
Alright.
You gotta go down with us.
Because I think you could do like not gonna lie that little bit. That's very close. Oh yeah.
The
Fuck
podcast
boy
ain't
laugh.
gonna end.
Oh,
Fuck, I just...
is that
Alright,
Pecora?
that's probably the best we can
Is
do
that
right
Pecora?
now. Peek! I can't do it anymore. I used to be able to.
Okay,
was-
okay.
I'm not gonna lie. You know what, Owie?
Pickle. What?
Debut as a lolly owl.
Lolly
just-
owl.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, lol.
Okay, guys.
yeah.
Well, that's enough of that.
You're welcome.
I can't wait to edit this and cringe at it. But
You're welcome.
Pain Pickle.
real pain Pecco. Well, yeah, that's it. We're gonna end it there with lolly voices and cringing at ourselves.
I hate it here.
I hate it here. But okay, guys. Thanks for joining me
everybody.
on episode. What episode are we on?
Maybe
5, 4,
Fine.
whatever episode
I'm not
this
too
is. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the. I know we were all over the place today, but you know it's whatever. We'll get better at staying on track. And you know, VTubers is a very broad subject, so that's why we jumped all over the place. But yeah, thanks Owie and Drip for joining me. We will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.